This person named John Jonas entered a cave near Utah Lake with the intention of exploration. During the exploration, he decided to make a new record by going to the narrowest place of the cave. But little did he know that this decision would be the last decision of his life. He was moving forward in the narrow paths of this cave known as Nutty Putty, but he lost his way and entered a part of the cave where no one had gone to date. A place as narrow as a grave, where it was difficult even to breathe, let alone move hands. And unfortunately, John got stuck upside down in this condition. This is the story of 26-year-old John Jonas, whose last 27 hours of life were spent in this cave. Near Salt Lake City, Utah, this hydrothermal cave named Nutty Putty is present. In 1960, this cave was discovered for the first time by a person named Dale Green, and since then, thousands of youngsters have come here to test their skills. The Nutty Patty Cave is very famous for its narrow and slippery paths. There is only one way to enter inside it, and that too is only 30 inches wide, which means only those youngsters whose waist and chest size is less than 30 inches can enter inside it. Every year, around 20,000 people come here to show their skills, but then between 1999 and 2004, some accidents happened here, and then many questions started being raised about the safety of the cave. On one occasion, a 23-year-old youngster was stuck in the depth of the cave for 1 hour, and on another occasion, a youngster was stuck upside down in the cave for the whole night. Due to these accidents, the authorities closed the Nutty Patty Cave in 2006. But the professional cavemen said that if it has to be closed, it should be closed only for those people who do not have any experience of caving, because often those people get stuck here. On the other hand, the officials said that Nutty Patty Cave is no less than a time bomb that can take someone's life at any time. The battle for Nutty Putty continued between the professional cavemen and the officials, and finally in 2007 it was reopened with new rules. A management committee was formed to permit people to enter the cave only if they had good experience in caving and had professional equipment. To go to Nutty Putty, one had to apply for a permit 21 days in advance, and two brothers, John and Josh Jonas from Salt Lake City, also applied for this permit on the night of 24th of November 2009. At 8 o'clock, 26-year-old John Jonas entered the Nutty Putty cave system with his group. Both the brothers had some experience of caves before, but they were going to Nutty Putty for the first time. Everything was normal for an hour after entering the cave, during which they explored the biggest cavity, which is called Big Slide. This was the point when John, Josh, and two other friends took the risk of going deeper into the cave. That is, the most difficult part of the cave, which is called the birth canal. Birth canal is so narrow that to date, very few people have gone near it. Not only is it extremely narrow, but finding its way is also very difficult. In the past, also many people have been stuck on the way to birth canal, but John, his brother, and two friends were very fit, which is why they decided to go to birth canal while the rest of the team members remained behind. The idea of going to the birth canal was John's. The path was so narrow that John was rolling on his stomach thinking that he was entering the birth canal, but he unknowingly took a wrong turn and entered the path called Corkscrew. This was the place where only the most slender cavemen could go. If we look at the map of the cave, this was the path where John had to go towards the right birth canal, but he took a left turn. As he moved ahead, the path started getting narrower, and now he could not turn back, but he kept moving ahead in the hope that maybe the path ahead would be a little wider and he would turn back from there. Ahead he saw a place downwards, and here John thought that maybe he would be able to turn back from here. Here the matter got worse because unfortunately when he entered this 10 by 18 inch path, there was a dead end ahead, and now John was stuck upside down in a space as wide as a washing machine, his head down and legs up, and there was no space left. He was so tight that his hands were getting pressed into his body, meaning he was not able to use his hands. John tried to get out of there many times but was not successful even once. Now John started calling his brother. After a few minutes, when Josh came there, he could see only John's legs. At first he made fun of his brother's condition, but when he realized the seriousness of his condition, Josh also got scared. Josh pulled his brother's legs many times, but this made the situation worse because now John went deeper down. John was stuck upside down and was not able to move his body at all. At this point, both the brothers felt that now they needed professional help. Now the problem was that there was no mobile signal at this depth of the pit to call 911. That's why Josh had to come out, and after calling, he reached back to his brother's location. After about 3 hours, the first rescue team reached the spot. It was Susie Matola who tried to get John out for 2 hours, but John was stuck worse than she had expected. The space was so tight that Susie even cut John's jeans to get half a centimeter more space, but that didn't work. She also came out after exhaustion. John's wife, daughter, and 30 other rescue team members had reached there. They were looking at different ways to get John out. One of them was to cut his legs. But finally, they all agreed on the use of ropes and a pulley system, which would be tied to John's legs and pulled. But the problem was that different pulleys had to be drilled in the rocks of the cave in such a way that the ropes did not collide with the rocks, and the entire load would be on the pulley. The pulley was to be drilled into the rocks of the cave and then pulled. There was a danger that the rocks could break and block the path. But for the time being, there was no other option. During drilling, some rocks broke and slid and fell on John. Doing this work at a depth of 700 feet was very difficult and time-consuming as well. And because of the narrow path, only one person could be pulled at a time. Only one rescue worker could go inside. The number of rescue workers had now increased to more than 100, but all of them were not able to do anything, and a doctor present in the rescue team made the matter more serious when he said that since John was stuck upside down, he had only 10 hours left, which means after this much time, his organs will start failing one by one. The human body is made to remain upright, in which the location of the heart is in the upper part of the body. The heart pumps and supplies blood to the entire body, and at about 80% the blood is supplied to the lower parts, where the supply reaches easily with the help of gravity. But since John is now upside down, his heart will have to pump blood upwards to the body at 80% with more force, in which the heart will have to work overtime. The doctor said that due to this, John could get a heart attack at any time. After hours of waiting, the police were installed and John was pulled by his legs, but soon they ran into new problems as John's legs were in such a position that they could not be bent, and when they pulled his legs would hit the roof of the pit. Well, with great difficulty, they pulled John out of the pit, but at the last moment, a pulley came out of the pit wall, and now John was stuck back where he was before. John was now getting very panicked. The two-way communication system was sent in so that he could relax by talking to his wife. This method worked and John became much better. Finally, after 19 hours, preparations were complete to pull John out again. This work had to be done very carefully because with every pull, a lot of pressure was being applied on John's legs. It was very difficult. This time, he was pulled out to a great extent, so much so that the rescue worker could now see his face. The rescue worker later said that John's eyes were red and there was a moment of happiness on his face. For the first time in the last 19 hours, John was able to see outside that narrow path-like pot. Now only one last pull was needed, and John would have come out of that pot completely. But then suddenly the pulley failed again with a jerk, and John got stuck again in the same place where he was stuck for the last 20 hours. In the last attempt to save John Jonas, an attempt was made to drill and break the stones around him, but perhaps it was too late now. John stopped moving and was not responding to anything. His wife also tried to revive John on the radio, but it was of no use. At this point, a brave paramedic was called to take John's pulse. What everyone suspected happened. John Jonas was declared dead on 25th of November 2009 at 11:50 p.m. John's wife could not believe the news that her husband had died because of such a small mistake. She was hoping that maybe the pulse in the leg was not checked properly and her husband was still alive. But the reality was in front of everyone. But what the doctors had expected after just 10 hours, John was able to survive for another 17 hours due to his good health. Many plans were made to take out John's dead body, in which the idea of taking out the body in two parts also came up. Finally, it was decided to leave the body there and close the entire Nutty Putty Cave forever, and declare it as John's grave. Even today, John Jonas's dead body lies in the same cave inside Nutty Putty Cave. The cave reminds us of the danger of exploration, and there is a plaque outside the cave in its memory. I hope you will like and share this video of Dark TV. See you in the next great video.